Good morning, students. How are you all today? Hope you all are good. Okay, let's start today's computer class. In previous class, I explained you about various functions of operating system. Okay, and today again I will explain you about device drivers in with some more detail. As I explained you earlier, that device driver is a group of files that enable one or more hardware devices to communicate with the computer's operating system. Okay, so whenever we connect any device, any its input or its output device, so whenever we connect any input or output device with the system, so we need a set of programs, we need a software which keeps information about that particular device, and we need to install that software in the system. Okay, some devices comes with inbuilt device driver programs, so we do not need to install it separately, but in some devices we have to, like whenever we connect printer with the system, so we need to install the printers, the device driver of particular printer separately in the computer system. Okay, each hardware device installed on a computer requires a different types of device driver or hardware driver. Means if you are using printer of Canon or is Canon, so you need a different device driver. If you are using printer of any other company, so you need different type of device driver. Means these device driver programs are designed for specific device only. It based on the company and the model of particular device, and the device driver provides specific instructions to the operating system in order the hardware device to perform properly. So I was telling you that if any file from that particular device driver is deleted, so the connected device will not work properly. So you need to install the device driver properly, and you need to protect your driver programs as well. Okay, next come to the very important topic of the chapter is types of operating system. Okay, so we can categorize operating system in many categories, like first is single user, multi-program, time sharing, real time, multiprocessing, and distributed. So one by one I will explain you about all the types of operating system. So first one is the single user operating system. As the name indicating, the systems on which only one user can operate is called the single user operating system. Okay, some single user operating system comes with the single task also. Means operating systems like MS-DOS. MS-DOS is a kind of operating system in which we can run only one task at a time and one user can use it. Okay, some single user operating system comes with single user but multitasking, like Windows we are using. Okay, Windows Vista, Windows 7, 8 or 10. Okay, next is multi-program operating system. The multi-program operating system is also called the multi-user operating system. Okay, so in these type of systems, multiple users can work. It support multi-programming. Okay, it supports multi-programming, so more than one user programs are loaded and active in the main storage at the same time. The programs of different users may run at the same time. Okay, and the example of such a systems are Unix, Linux. Okay, Unix and Linux, these two are very popular operating systems, and they support multi-user programs. Okay, next we have the time sharing operating system. The time sharing operating system is little different in terms of technique only, because in these types of systems a special technique is used, using which the processes are scheduled by a time slot. Means suppose there are 10 processes which are going to run inside the CPU. So in time sharing operating system, what happens? A particular time is allocated to each process. Means 10 processes are there. So suppose 5 minutes are allotted to each process. And suppose any process is completed beforehand, like it is completed in 4 minutes, the remaining 1 minute it will be free and it will be allotted to another process. And suppose if any process needs more time to execute, it needs 10 minutes for executing. So what happens? Ki after completing its 5 minutes, the process will wait, and when other process which are running, when they will be completed, so again the process will get the time for executing. So what happens in this case, that all processes can run smoothly. There will not be any overlapping of resources, misclashing of time, and CPU can handle the process separately and very easily in effective manner. Okay, and which process will come first and which will come next. So for this, a scheduling technique is used in these type of systems. Okay. Next is acha. Okay, one more thing that I have explained also. Again, I want to highlight that point. That suppose in time sharing operating system, if particular process is not completed in the given time, so again it will take time, and the process again it can come in the memory, and the process may complete it. Okay. Now in real time operating system, the same point between time sharing and real time is the availability of different time slot. Means in real time also a particular time slot is allocated to the process, but the time slot with the deadline and the fixed deadline. Means if a time slot is allotted to the process or particular job, then it must be completed within their deadline. Like we set the alarm in our mobile phones. If the time is 7:30, so it will run on 7:30 only, not before, not after. Similarly, in the real-time operating systems, the job have a fixed deadline and the job have to be completed within their deadline. Okay, and this system performance is measured by its ability to complete its job within the specified deadline. Means if the process is completing in the given deadline, it means this system is perfect. Otherwise it will not consider that it's working properly. Okay, these type of operating systems are used when we want to run any process at a particular fixed deadline time. Okay, next is multiprocessing. Here we are talking about the operating systems in which we have more than one processor. Okay, so the multiprocessing operating system is capable for handling more than one processor. Okay, like sometime it happens na ki there are like in very big organizations where there is lots of work, lots of load on the CPU. So we use multiprocessing operating systems in which we can add more than one CPU. So the process may change the CPU, not CPU, processor. The process may change the processor. If suppose on one processor its work is done, it may go to another one. It increase the efficiency of the output. Means like we have multiple processes, so obviously the operator should be capable for load sharing. Means the load of one processor will be divided into two or more processor, so it will work in very effective way. It will improve the efficiency of the system. Okay, next we have the distributed operating system. In distributed operating system, what happens, like the name indicating distributed means where something is distributed or divided or decentralized. Yes, na. So in distributed operating systems, what happens, that the or the processes may be it may be divided according to its type. Okay, understand it like this. Suppose any subject teacher give you 2 chapters for completing, so you will sit and one time and you will complete the chapter. It will make you tired, you will get lots of burden, you know. So what you will do, you will decide that these many questions I will do first, after some time I will do this, or then I will do this. So what you will do, you will divide your work and you will divide the time also. So the distributed operating system is designed to share its workload. Okay, and it share the workload over multiple server. Means it is based on the decentralized architecture. If we talk about the banking system, where we have the SBI branch in different cities, the bank is one, but the branches are everywhere. So what they does, they assign a different server to each branch, so that particular server will handle the one branch and another will handle the second branch, and they all will report to the centralized server of SBI. So what happens, it reduces the workload and we get maximum work efficiency. Another example of distributed system is the reservation system. Okay, these type of systems use distributed operating system architecture. Okay, where they have multiple servers and at multiple locations. Okay, so revise the chapter from your book also and read the remaining part of this chapter. Okay, the remaining part I will discuss in the next class. Okay, so take care of yourselves. Bye bye.